There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise of the world becomes too loud. Too many opinions, too many expectations, too many battles that were never meant to be yours. And it is in that moment, when chaos surrounds you, that the strongest man or woman says nothing. They simply smile and keep walking, not because they are weak, but because they have mastered the most powerful skill of all, to act as if nothing bothers them. Most people are tossed around by the world like leaves in the wind. One harsh word and they crumble, one setback and they shatter, one rejection and they lose all sense of direction. But not you, not anymore. What if I told you that your real power lies not in how loudly you fight back, but in how calmly you rise above? That your peace, your focus, your entire destiny depends on one decision: to no longer give your energy away to things that do not deserve it. In this video, we're not just talking about acting unbothered. We are going to rebuild your mind into a fortress so steady, even your own doubts won't be able to shake it. You'll discover what Napoleon Hill knew, that the secret to mastering life is mastering your reaction to life. Because once you do that, the world no longer controls you. You control the world within you. And that's where everything begins. Before we go deeper, pause for a second and ask yourself, who do I become when I stop reacting to every little thing? If that reflection moves something inside you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this quiet strength too. Now take a breath. Let's begin the transformation. The power of controlled reaction. You don't need to yell to be strong. You don't need to defend yourself to prove your worth. You don't even need to respond, because the moment you learn to pause, to breathe, to choose silence over impulse, you shift the entire power dynamic in your favor. Napoleon Hill once wrote, "You have absolute control over but one thing, your thoughts. And when you learn to control your thoughts, you begin to control your emotions, your choices, and ultimately, your life." You see, most people are ruled by reflex. Someone offends them, they react. A door closes, they despair. A plan fails, and they immediately question their worth, but not the ones who understand this secret. Not the quiet masters. They've trained their minds to step back before stepping forward, to observe before deciding if it even deserves their attention. And 90% of the time, it doesn't. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have to let small things invade your peace. The greatest minds in history, Hill, Carnegie, Edison, they all understood one powerful truth. The man who controls his reaction is more powerful than the one who controls the room. It's not the loudest who lead. It's the one who refuses to be disturbed by noise. So the next time life tries to provoke you, pause, let it pass, and smile like a king who knows his kingdom is already secure. Because that calm, that stillness, that's your real power, and the world won't know what to do with a soul like yours. Detachment is not coldness, it's mastery. Some will misunderstand you. They'll say you've changed, that you don't care, that you've grown distant. Let them talk, because detachment, true detachment, is not a lack of love, passion, or care. It's simply this: you've stopped giving your energy to what weakens your soul. Napoleon Hill believed that the greatest asset a person can develop is self-discipline of the mind, and that begins by separating yourself from emotional chaos. Most people are emotionally entangled in everything, every comment, every glance, every opinion. They live on edge, constantly reacting, explaining, defending. But the moment you detach, you rise. Not in arrogance, but in awareness. You start choosing peace over drama, purpose over distraction, growth over validation. This is not coldness. This is focus. Imagine a burning flame. It doesn't chase the wind. It stands still, powerful, grounded in its own heat. That's what you become when you learn to let go of what you can't control. You'll lose some people along the way, but you'll find yourself. And when you do, your presence will speak louder than any explanation ever could. You are no longer obligated to be accessible to every energy that knocks on your door. Some things were never meant to enter your space. Let detachment become your filter, and peace will become your default. The discipline of emotional self-control. Anyone can lose their temper. Anyone can let their emotions spiral. But the person who can feel everything without letting it rule them, that person is untouchable. Napoleon Hill taught that every setback, every insult, every delay is not a punishment, but a test. A test of your discipline. And discipline isn't built when things are easy. It's built in the moment someone disrespects you, and you choose silence. When something fails, and you choose patience. When things go wrong, and you still choose faith over fear. This is emotional self-control. And it's not suppression, it's strategy. You are not denying your emotions. You're simply deciding when and how they get expressed. You're no longer a puppet to passing moods. You're a conductor, a master of the inner orchestra. People who act on impulse usually regret the damage they leave behind. But those who wait, who breathe, who pause, often find that they didn't need to react at all. You'll start to see that most insults are powerless. Most fears are illusions. Most problems, temporary. But your peace, that's permanent if you protect it. So train yourself, not to be emotionless, but to be emotionally intelligent. Because while the world is on fire, you'll be the calm in the storm. And nothing will ever shake you again. Let silence become your superpower. Most people are addicted to noise. They speak to prove themselves, to fill the gaps, to ease the discomfort of being misunderstood. But the most powerful people? They don't speak just to be heard. They speak only when it serves a purpose. Silence is not weakness. It is control. It is a higher language, one only a few ever master. Napoleon Hill said, "Tell the world what you intend to do, but first, show it." Because true power doesn't need permission. It doesn't beg for applause. It speaks through results, and more often, through silence. When you stop explaining yourself, you start becoming unshakable. When you pause before reacting, you give yourself the space to choose who you want to be. And when you stay silent in the face of provocation, you let others reveal their character while protecting your own. There's something mysterious about a person who doesn't flinch, who doesn't overshare, who doesn't need to be understood by everyone. That mystery? It commands attention without ever asking for it. So let silence stretch when you're challenged. Let it sit in conversations that don't deserve your energy. Let it protect you when emotions try to hijack your dignity. You are no longer here to explain your worth. You are here to embody it. And the world will feel your presence, even when you say nothing at all. Stop seeking approval. Start building inner authority. There is no heavier chain than the need to be liked, and there is no greater freedom than not needing anyone's permission to be who you are. Napoleon Hill warned us, if you are influenced by the opinions of others, you will have no desire of your own. And isn't that what most people suffer from? They live not by their vision, but by the expectations of others. They shrink themselves to fit in. They silence their intuition to gain validation, and slowly, they vanish. But here's the truth. You were never taught. Approval is borrowed power. It can be given, it can be taken, and it always keeps you dependent. But inner authority? That's built. It's earned. It's forged in the silence of self-trust. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your path is not up for public vote. Because when your approval comes from within, no rejection can shake you. You're no longer shaped by claps or criticisms. You walk your path, eyes forward, heart steady, unmoved. The more you validate yourself, the less you'll crave it from others. And ironically, the moment you stop trying to impress people, they become impressed. Not because you tried, but because you didn't have to. So drop the need to be seen, and become someone no one can ignore. You weren't born to be accepted. You were born to be authentic. And that is what will set you free. Calm is your Competitive edge. In a world that's constantly rushing, shouting, reacting, the calmest person in the room holds the most power. While others are driven by urgency, panic, and emotional storms, you remain steady. Not because your life is easier, but because your mind is trained. Napoleon Hill once said, "Control your own mind, and you may never be controlled by others." This is not just advice, it's a way of life. When everyone around you is losing their composure, you become the anchor, the center, the one people turn to. Calm is not passive. It's not weak. It's the result of discipline, of awareness, of choosing not to let temporary emotions damage permanent things. Imagine yourself in a moment of crisis. Something goes wrong, others panic, but you breathe, you observe, you think before you act. That pause, that quiet strength, is more powerful than 1,000 loud reactions, because when you are calm, you see clearly, you choose wisely, you move with precision, not impulse. You become the strategist, not the pawn. And that difference? That's what separates the ones who survive from the ones who lead. So build your calm like a muscle. Train it daily, because when the storm comes, and it always does, you won't just survive it. You'll walk through it, unchanged, unshaken, undefeated. Let go of what you cannot control. There's a hidden weight that many people carry: the obsession. With controlling everything, they grip tightly to outcomes, people, timing. They try to force life to bend to their plans, and when it doesn't, they suffer. But Napoleon Hill knew something most don't. You are the master of your fate, because you are the master of your thoughts, not your circumstances, not your outcomes, not the reactions of others, just your inner world. And once you accept this, everything changes. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop tying your peace to things that were never meant to be. Controlled. The job offer that fell through. The person who left. The path that turned. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to chase it. You just need to trust that if it's not in your hands, it's not your burden. Think of a river. It never resists. It flows. It adapts. It moves around obstacles without losing momentum. That's what letting go looks like. It's the quiet decision. To stop fighting battles that aren't yours. To stop grieving futures that were never meant to be. And in doing so, you free yourself. You make room for peace, for clarity, for new opportunities that can't come while your hands are full of fear. Letting go is not defeat. It's wisdom. And when you finally do it, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Light. Move in silence. Let results speak. You don't need to announce every step. You don't need to broadcast your next move. Because power, real power, moves quietly. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Tell the world what you intend to do, but first show it." And what he meant was this: speak through execution, not explanation. While others waste energy talking about their plans, you build. While they seek applause for starting, you wait until there's something to show. Silence isn't about hiding. It's about guarding your energy. It's about protecting your vision from noise, doubt, and interference. When people can't predict your next step, they can't sabotage it. When they don't know what drives you, they can't manipulate you. So, stop over-explaining. Stop looking for others to agree with your dreams, your work, your consistency, your outcomes. That's your voice now. You don't need to convince anyone that you're growing. Let your presence evolve in such a way that people begin to wonder how you did it and when. The less you speak, the more power your words carry. When you finally do, that's the discipline, that's the art, that's the Napoleon Hill way. Move in silence, build in silence. And when the time is right, let your results roar. Train your mind to stay calm. No matter what, your greatest battlefield is not out there. It's within. And the war is not against the world. It's against your own impulses. Napoleon Hill said, "You either control your mind or it controls you." And most people, they lose this war every morning. Before they even leave their bed, they let fear decide their steps. They let anxiety shape their day. They let a passing thought destroy their peace. But not you. Not anymore. Because the strongest version of you is already inside, buried under layers of reactivity, self-doubt, and habit. And all it takes to uncover it is daily training. Start small. When something annoys you, pause instead of reacting. When fear shows up, ask yourself, is this real or just a thought? When you feel overwhelmed, breathe before you decide what comes next. Each moment like this is a rep, a push-up for the soul. The more you choose calm, the more automatic it becomes. And here's the beautiful irony. The more calm you are, the more control you gain. Of your thoughts, your actions, your life. The storms won't stop coming, but you'll stop being swept away by them, because while others live in reaction, you've become response. While others get consumed, you stay anchored. You've trained for this, you've built this, and nothing outside of you has the power to take that away. 10. Build a presence that needs no defense. When you truly master yourself, you no longer walk into a room to prove anything. Your energy arrives before your words. Your stillness becomes louder than noise. Your boundaries speak without being spoken. This is the final stage of power, where you no longer strive to seem unbothered. You simply are. Napoleon Hill believed that thoughts become things. And when your mind is quiet, clear, and undisturbed by drama, you manifest clarity, strength, and results. You're no longer a participant in petty games. You're no longer giving away your energy to things that can't grow you. You've learned to pause, to observe, to walk away when needed, not in fear, but in full control of your worth. You've learned that true leadership doesn't beg for attention. It draws respect from its composure, and you've realized, finally, that being unbothered isn't about pretending nothing affects you. It's about choosing what deserves your response. The world is always pulling at your peace. Let it. Because, now you know, you don't need to grip anything tightly. You don't need to chase, to fight, to explain. You are the storm's still eye, the mountain unmoved by wind, the fire that does not flicker when questioned. You are steady. And in your steadiness, there is a kind of quiet power the world cannot understand, but will never forget. If this message spoke to the deeper part of you, the part that's tired of reacting and ready to rise, then like this video, subscribe for more soul-deep wisdom, and share it with someone who needs to remember their strength. You were not born to chase the world. You were born to master yourself and let the world adjust to your silence. This is Self-Decode, and your transformation has already begun.